Topic 8 is volume. Okay, so the volume is the space inside a 3D shape. So you can see all these different 3D shapes here. The volume means the space inside this 3D shape. Okay, so this first part for the revision, this box here, it should all be given in the exam. So please, if you get this in the exam, make sure you use it. Okay, you should get this in the exam, so don't forget to use it. So let's go through them quickly. We have this cuboid here. The volume equals length times width times height. For this cylinder, we have the volume equals pi times r squared times h, the height. Okay, the volume of this sphere or ball, volume equals 4/3 times pi times r cubed. For this cone, volume equals 1/3 times pi times r squared times h, height. And with this pyramid, v equals 1/3 times the length times the width times the height. Okay, so you might get other 3D shapes. These 3D shapes that I'm going to tell you about are called prisms. Prisms are, I put here, like bread, because if you cut the prism here, if you cut it here, you will get the same shape. Okay, wherever you cut it, if you cut it here or here, you will still get the same shape at the front. Okay, so we have other prisms here. If I cut this prism here, I still get a triangle. Or this cylinder here, if I cut it here, I will still get a circle. Okay, so how do you find the volume of a prism? You have to find the area of the front face, the area of this front, and then times it by the length. Same with this shape. To find the volume, you find the area of the front, which is the triangle, area of a triangle, and then times by the length. Same with this shape. Find the area of the front, this is a circle, area of a circle, times by the length. Okay, so let's look at some questions. Question 1. Find the volume of a cube with sides 3 centimeters. So a cube, we know what a cube is. A cube is like this and has sides 3 centimeters. Okay, now we can use this equation to find the volume of this cube, because a cube is the same as a cuboid. Okay, so V equals length times width times height. 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. Units, centimeters cubed. Okay. Question 2. Find the volume of this shape. So this is a prism. First we have to find the area of the front face. So this area of a triangle, area equals half base times height, equals half times the base of this triangle is 4 times the height. The height of this triangle is 6. Okay, remember the height must be at a right angle, perpendicular, times 6 equals 12. Half times 4 times 6 equals 12. So that's the area of this triangle. Now we have to times it by the length, times by 12. $144. Units, centimeters cubed. Okay. Question 3. Find the volume of the composite figure. Composite means more than one shape put together. So we have this shape and we have this shape. Okay, so let's do the cone first. The cone, we have volume equals, and we can use this equation here, third pi r squared h, third pi r squared h, which is a third times pi times r squared. Well, r is from here to here. If this is 10, r must be 5. Okay, so times 5 squared times the height. The height of this cone is 6. The height is 6. So times by 6 equals 157. Okay, now we have another shape. We have this cylinder here. Okay, so we have this cylinder. Volume equals, and we can use this equation, this is a cylinder, pi r squared h. Pi r squared h equals pi times the radius of this cylinder is still 5. Pi times 5 squared times the height. The height of the cylinder is 12. Okay, so times by 12 equals 942. Okay, so we have the volume of this cone is 157 and the volume of this cylinder is 942. So the total volume 157 plus 942 equals 1099 millimeters cubed. Okay, 1099 millimeters cubed. Question 4. The volume of the pyramid is 126 centimeters cubed. What is the height? So we have this pyramid. We don't know the height, but we do know the volume. The volume is 126. So let's start with the equation for this pyramid. We're going to write this equation. Third length width height. So the volume equals 1/3 length width height. Okay, so now we put in the numbers that we know. We know the volume is 126, so we write 126 here. Okay, we have the third times the length. The length is 9, so L is 9 times the width. The width is 6. So times 6 times the height. The height we don't know. So times h. Okay. So let's simplify this. We have 126 equals 1/3 times 9 times 6 equals 18 times h. Okay, so we have 126 equals 18 times h. So we are solving equations here. This is times 18, so to delete this we have to divide 18 on both sides. Okay, times 18 and divide 18, we just have h. 126 divided by 18 is 7. So the height is 7 centimeters. Okay, question 5, find the volume of this shape. So let's start, again this is a composite shape, we have two shapes. We have a cone and a half sphere, or half ball. So let's start with the cone. The cone volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. 1/3 pi r squared h. Which is 1/3 times pi times r squared. R is 3, so 3 squared times h. The height of this cone is 7 times 7 equals 65.94. Okay, this is the volume of the cone. Now we need the volume of this top part. So this top part is half of a sphere, half of a ball. So because it's half of a sphere, we're going to start the volume with half times. Okay, half times, and then we get the same thing here. 4/3 pi r cubed. Half times 4/3 pi r cubed. Because this is the volume for a full sphere, but we have to times by half because it's half a sphere. So half times 4/3 times pi times r cubed. R is 3, so times 3 cubed equals 18.84. Okay, so we have the volume of this cone and the volume of this half sphere. We have to find the total, add them together. 65.94 plus 18.84 equals 84.78 inches cubed. Okay. Last question, question 6. Rasha is making decorations for a graduation ceremony. She plans to place 15 of these decorations around the graduation ceremony room. So she's going to have 15 of these. What will be the total volume of 15 figures? Okay, so this shape here, she's going to have 15 of these shapes. Now let's split this and find the volume of the cone first. Okay, so the volume of a cone, V equals, if we look up here, this is the cone, 1/3 pi r squared h. 1/3 pi r squared h equals 1/3 times pi times r squared. R is 3, so times 3 squared times h. The height of this cone is 7 times 7. Okay. This equals 65.94. So this is the volume for this side of the cone, but we have to find the volume of this one, so we have to times by 2 first. Times by 2 to get this side and this side. Okay, so 65.94 times 2 equals 131.88. Okay, so each one of these is 131.88. How many of these do we have? We have 15. So now we have to times this by 15 And the answer is 1978.2 centimeters cubed.